And Riley Strain was laid to rest in his hometown of Springfield, Missouri on Friday. The 22-year-old's body was found in the Cumberland River near Nashville earlier this month, nearly 2 weeks after he was reported missing. That happened on the night of March 8th, after he was asked to leave a downtown Nashville bar. He separated from his fraternity brothers and was not heard from again. Caitlyn Becker joining me now. And Caitlyn, Riley's parents have actually ordered a second autopsy, despite the police autopsy that's already been released.
So the preliminary autopsy results are out, Hena. We're still waiting for those full results. They don't come out until toxicology comes back, which sometimes could take weeks or even months. But the preliminary cause of death, according to law enforcement, was accidental. But because of some facts about how Riley was discovered, how his body was discovered, it just didn't sit well with his family. So they ordered the second autopsy. Take a look at what a family friend had to tell our Brian Enton this week about what really concerned them about how Riley's body was found.
One thing that threw the family for a loop was, the coroner going on record stating about the lack of water in his lungs. It raises more questions. I'm not a crime drama person by no means, but usually water in the lungs means that, they were alive when they went into the water.
What about the boots, Chris? Tell us what you've learned in terms of what Riley was wearing.
Unfortunately, the only thing that was found with him, as the police stated in the report, was the watch and the shirt. Everything else was not with him when he was found.
So the concern there clearly, Hena, is the fact that he was found half naked from the waist down and then there was no water in his lungs. So his parents and his family are really looking for some more information.
Do authorities know how he got in the water in the first place, Caitlyn? I know there's so many questions around this case.
There are a lot of questions, Hena, and if authorities do know, they're not telling us. But from the get-go, we've been concerned that something may have gone wrong with him, perhaps stumbling into the river, because you see this kind of timeline of where he was last seen. He was last seen on some surveillance camera, sort of stumbling around, and he was walking towards the direction of that river. So there is kind of a presumption that perhaps he may have fallen in, but we don't know for sure. And honestly, I don't think we're going to have an answer about whether or not he was intoxicated because it's been so long since he went missing.
Does the family suspect foul play?
Well, I think they just want answers. I think the big question here is, why wasn't there water in his lungs if he is presumed to have drowned? Now, we don't know for a fact whether or not the autopsy results will say he drowned, but that's a question. But also, the way he was found is a concern. A forensics expert told NewsNation some interesting details about how he would have approached this. Take a look at what Joseph Scott Morgan had to say.
Anytime that we have someone that is unclad, particularly in the lower body, it's rather provocative when you begin to think about it. And so we take a harder look at those kinds of cases because any number of things can at least be implied. We have to follow that line of logic to its finality.
Had two forensic experts on that day, and the other one answered the second question of why there may not have been water in his lungs, and does that mean he didn't drown? But there's two ways to drown. There's actually something called dry drowning. When you wet drown, you expect to have, you ingest that water, you basically breathe it in. But something called a laryngospasm is what happens when you, what's called dry drown. And that's when the water comes in, your body automatically reacts by closing up the airways, which means the water's not getting in, but neither is any oxygen. So we're gonna have to wait to see those full autopsy results from both the police and that secondary autopsy to get some answers.
I know you've been following the story for weeks now. You'll keep us updated.
Absolutely.
Caitlyn Becker, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.